Well, folks, get your snorkels ready because we're going to get ready to go.
I don't know about snorkels. You're going to get water in. Rather get your goggles ready or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. But these drivers, most of them are experienced drivers out there. It still doesn't make it any easier. So the safety car is moving off the line. Look at that spin off the line here by Steven Heidenreich. A lot of wheel spin. This track is getting very, very wet at this point in time. The water is beginning to bucket down. As a matter of fact, there's so much water. You can actually see the spray coming out from the back. Josef Hendricks is back in it again.
Yeah, some brave guys
after retiring from race 1.
Yeah, some brave guys on slicks as well, Frankie. I'm going to be a bit pessimistic over here. I don't know if that's really going to cut it out there.
Well, the bottom line is if you rocked up here with slicks today, that's what you brought with.
Yeah,
so you didn't pack in anything else. You didn't expect this to happen. So you've got to use what you got. That's the bottom line, and make it work for you to the best of your ability without chucking the car at the scenery.
Interesting one as well, Frankie, that we've just been having a quick chat in the commentary box here, is the windscreens fogging up as well. That is also, you need to have some sort of a line or stream of air coming into the car just to relieve that a little bit, and that could be a problem.
I think the Clubman's cars are okay. The problem you get is with the supercars. They haven't got that fan, and the driver sits too far back. He sits behind the B pillar in a supercar, so you can't even get your hand to the windscreen. And the supercars initially never liked to race in the rain because by the front wheels it's open and it threw the water back into the car. But that was, I don't know if they made any adjustments to the cars by then. But when Jess Huggett and those people used to race supercars, they were saying to me that the water does come into the car. And with the heat of the engine, the inside of the window tends to steam up. So, but that's them. I think the Clubman's cars should be okay.
Oil. There's oil on the circuit as well, right on the grid, Frankie. That is
I
another
think
factor
that's
here.
just old oil that's coming through because of the rain. I don't think that's going to be it's a matter of fact, if you look all the way down the grid, look there between 4 and 6. There's for us commentary team up here, there's a bit of oil there as well. I don't think that is going to be a problem. I cannot see that's going to be an issue at all.
All right.
It's mainly the water conditions.
Well, there we go. Ian Long has assured us. And, well, they're coming down the back straight now, Frankie. It is a scheduled 8-lap race. There is the safety car, driven by Phil, the Dolphin Herald. Hey, dolphin conditions, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's good to be a marine animal.
that is the biggest advantage. If you are a marine animal, you're in your element.
In your element. So I'll tell you what, a lot of these guys are not in the element. Already got a car that's pulled off down the back straight. That looks like it's JP Shares BMW. He has stopped. He has stopped down the back straight. We cannot see him. If you look at the back of the commentary box windows, I think it's more on the inside exit of turn 4 saddle sweep. That's where he has stopped. So
yeah, we're zooming in now, Frankie. There he sits, of course, that very bright colored BMW. Oh,
trying to get it going again. It is JP Share, yes.
Luckily, he's got it going again.
Well,
and,
thank goodness for that.
The back straight.
Right, so whatever happens, we're going racing. 8 laps of thermofires, Clubman's regional saloon cars, safety cars peeled off. The lights on pit lane is on, and it's in the hands of Shane Smith with Steven Heidenreich sitting there on his outside. Let's see what happens when the lights go off. They're going to have to drop the hammers, go as quick as they can, but also be reasonable in doing so as well. This is the most gingerly start I've ever seen in a Clubman's race. They just eased it off the line, but that's all that you can do. You cannot stomp on the loud pedal. You'll wheel spin your way into eternity and get absolutely nowhere, that's for sure. So tiptoeing out of turn, and I can tell you that the rain has stopped. And that is very important. The rain has stopped for now, but it has done enough to make this track very slippery. And Steven Heidenreich gets his nose up front going into turn number 2. Understeering a touch slightly there. Look at the rivers coming out around that circuit there. Steven goes a bit wide. That car swinging its tail around. Well caught there by Steve as they make their way through the kink. and head down into interceptor corner. This, Byron, is not easy. Daniel Kutsia sits there in that third position, and behind him is Barcy Berger in the Honda Ballard.
Red flag. Red flag. That's the race, I think, for now. It's JP Share that's pulled off onto the grass on the main straight, Frankie. So
that's why the red flag, not because of the race. The guys are beginning to handle it. They'll get the feel of it as long as they go on. They'll get the feel and they'll adapt to the conditions, because I mean these drivers know exactly what they're doing. So the red flag is purely out because of the JP Share BMW in a very how can I say, in a position that is about a meter off the circuit.
Well, Tiny was just mentioning as well earlier on, Frankie, and of course him and yourself being very experienced oval racing guys, is that Stephen Heidenreich is using a lot of his oval racing experience here.
Yes,
Remember,
yes.
I'm
Yes.
more newer to oval
Correct.
racing, where they actually wet the circuit.
I was just going to say,
And
they're used to the mud conditions, so when it starts to wag its tail around, they'll know exactly when to catch it. But there's a lot of these drivers been around Kalani a long, long time, and they're also used to these conditions. But if you are used to dirt oval track racing with water on it, and your name is Stephen Heidenreich, well, you probably got the advantage over the other guys.
Hydro-Rich.
Heidenreich.
Hydro-Rich.
Yes, water. That's
Hydro-Rich.
We'll give him a new surname. Why not?
Man, I'm on fire, and I've only done it once today.
You're not delayed today, though. That's one thing I will say.
Just also going back, let me hazard also a guess here, Frankie, that maybe one or two on the circuit have not even driven in these conditions, raced in these conditions before. I'm looking up and down the grid. So it's going to be a 6-lap race then. Okay, JP Share gets pushed off. But yes, a lot of folks, of course, get their first ever experience in a wet weather race. And that is where now you need the experience. You need to gain that experience. And it doesn't happen as often when the wet weather race comes along.
But if I look down the grid, there's only one driver here with a tar and dirt oval track racing experience, and that is Stephen Heidenreich. The others don't have that. And true words were spoken here by Tiny, that if that thing starts walking around, he should know exactly how to catch it. But you know what? It's still easier said than done. And look at the inside window of Stephen's car. As a matter of fact, look at Daniel Kutsia's car. So yes, it's beginning to steam up on the inside of those cars, and that's not exactly what they want right now. Even Shane Smith, his is not that bad. Basically the first three, because Barcy Berger is okay, the rest of the cars coming through, they all seem to be fine when it comes to the inside of the front window. But those first three cars do have a slight disadvantage of it beginning to steam up on the inside of the front window.
Yeah, Frankie.
So they want to go racing, hopefully get some air in somewhere that'll just clear that for them.
Yeah, that's the big question over here, to try and see how they can get the air in. I remember watching some videos of Group B rallying where they had to have the navigator have a squeegee and start rubbing the windshield over there to try and get a view out.
We can give them squeegees, that's it, they can learn.
Yeah, you get a sponsor for them, squeegees. And let me tell you one thing, they'll be very busy inside those cars. The brains will be going on and on over there, because remember, every lap is different. You can't get a rhythm.
We make a joke, but it's not easy. These guys are literally stressing inside those cars now. But would they do anything else on a Saturday afternoon? No, they wouldn't, that's for sure. It's what they're born to do, these guys. They love it to bits. I will say the rain is gone. It's clearing up. But yeah, there's a lot of water on the circuit. And I don't think in the 6 laps that we got that they're going to disperse all that water. And it's only rained enough just to make it greasy. And that is rather have a dry circuit or a wet circuit. But it's now in that intermediate state where it's like sunlight soap. And that's what the guys and girls out there don't want.
No, indeed, Frankie. And we saw earlier on the oil starts rising up to the top. The rubber starts loosening on the circuit as well. It becomes greasy.
It becomes very green very quickly.
Yes, it does. All the rubber that's been built up throughout the sessions, all the day, will be washed away, and we have ourselves a washed circuit. Here they come, though, now down the back straight towards Pertamina faster on turn 5. And then they'll be ready for a 6-lap race.
Right, working their way down the back straight towards turn 5 into Fostron corner. It's going to be 6 laps. They've taken the JP Share BMW out the way. And we're going to go racing the final race of the day. Thermo Fire's Clubman's regional saloon cars will be good to go shortly. Now watch when the lights go off. They won't stomp on the gas as per normal. They'll just feather the accelerator and they just gradually pick up speed heading into turn 1. They will do it exactly the same as what they did before the red flag came out.
Well, Frankie, of course, yes, as well, a lot of short shifting to restrict the power.
That's what they're going to do. They might even pull away in third instead of second, or fourth instead of third, whatever the case may be. And they will have to short shift somewhere around the circuit. That's true. Right, let's see what happens. The light goes off and Barcy Burger says, I don't care. I don't give a damn. He's on the gas and he just races past Heidenreich. He races past Daniel Kutsia. And will he get his nose ahead of Shane Smith? Not yet. They're side by side. Smith has got the line for turn number 1 as they make their way out of Holzhoek. And Barcy Burger, oh, somebody sideways. Heidenreich caught that one very neatly. Daniel Kutsia was also sideways. He also caught it very nicely. And here comes Charles Opperman. Charles Opperman busy making his way through as well as Isel in the commentary box. She's seeing a husband and a brother out there, so she's stressing times 2 as they work their way through the kink and race down into turn 3 interceptor corner.
Well, they'll make their way through the kink now. Spinner, turn 2, we have a gaggle of cars.
That's the Ford Falcon of Michael Lucia.
Lucia gets it going again, thankfully. And that car behind them over there as well will just watch to see if that Falcon can get fully going again. Meanwhile, gingerly going through it, it is now a knife's edge. Is that Barcy Burger that leads the way now? That's going to be a turn up for the books in the Honda Ballard. Goes down towards Pertamina Fastron, turn 5.
Well, I think cut slicks, as Tiny's saying, and front wheel drive. That will help you a little bit more on the racetrack if you've got a front wheel drive compared to a rear wheel drive.
The best always is 4-wheel drive, but after that, front wheel drive, and then we have ourselves rear wheel drive is just sometimes a no-no. And yeah, the front wheel drive cars, remember, no power advantages over here or anything. That's nullified completely as they go through. Barcy Burger goes into turn 1 now, ahead of Smith, ahead of Heidenreich, who's having a bit of a trouble time over there. A little bit of fishtailing and tank slappers and all kinds of lovely things going through turn 1 and onto the Joubert straight now. And he'll be under pressure shortly by the man behind him, Kutsia.
Yes, Daniel Kutsia, then it's the Golf of Charles Opperman, and even under braking you see it's better to be in that front wheel drive car. There's less power in the Golf and in that BMW, and on a track condition like this you'd rather have slightly less power, and it's working here for Charles Opperman. Through the kink they go, racing towards turn 3, and Charles Opperman is right on the case of the Daniel Kutsia BMW as they work their way out of interceptor corner, turn 3.
Well, Burger will come through now onto the back main. 5 laps left to go, including the one they are currently on at the moment. But Shane Smith doing a good job of just keeping him in sight at the moment. 1.3 seconds the last time they came across the line between the two of them. Heidenreich hanging it out there in 10, and Kutsia 1.2 seconds back. Charles Opperman in the VW Golf Mark 1, Ahmad in the BMW, and then Gary Manwaring in the E46 BMW, hanging it there, the leader in Class D ahead of Van Niekerk. 1.1 seconds between them, and Honeywell in third in class.
Yeah, that's a lot of cars that's heading down into turn number 5 as that front group makes its way into turn 1. And it is being led there by Barcy Burger from Shane Smith. Stephen Heidenreich, I think, has settled down into a rhythm now. And Shane Smith in turn 1 loses the BMW as he stomped on the gas a little too soon on the track, on a circuit that's got very tricky conditions.
Yeah, he's lost out about 2 places now. Stephen Heidenreich is now up into second position, and a considerable little gap between himself and the Kutsia BMW as they go now into turn 2, Quarry. 4 laps left to go, including this current one they are on.
But Daniel Kutsia has been caught there once again by Shane Smith, and he's bringing Charles Opperman. Oh, Shane, look at that drifting, and holds on to it. A lot more power. Opperman will say, oh, you just throw it around, buddy, then I'll make a move up on the inside, and I'll go after Daniel Kutsia. But making its way now out of turn number 2, there's another group of cars that's making its way through the kink and working down towards turn number 3. And we'll have a look-see that group of cars as they come out there. I'll tell you that Ahmad is in that one. Chiara van Niekerk is in that one. That's just 2 of the 4. I think Eugene Gasperi could be also in that fight. We'll just get confirmation. I'll tell you, Gary Manwaring is leading that group of 4 cars. It's making its way out of turn number 4. It's Gary Manwaring, it's Ahmad. And then we have got Chiara van Niekerk in there as well. So that's 3 of the 4 cars. It's making its way down into turn 5, into Fostron corner. But the leaders, Byron, making their way out of turn number 1.
3 laps left to go now, and while there goes Smith across the line ahead of Kutsia. Opperman will still keep it in there right behind them in that Mark 1 Golf in 5th position. Ahmad coming through in the BMW. But let's see now Gary Manwaring, 4/10 of a second back off of Ahmad. Actually, Ahmad's dropping down 2 places. So Gary Manwaring has come up a place.
Well, Steven Heidenreich got it all wrong there, managed to hold it, and that has now brought those 3 cars a lot closer to him as they make their way through the kink and go into turn number 3 into Interceptor corner. Steven Heidenreich, Shane Smith, Daniel Kutsia, Charles Opperman. That's the 4 cars in that order that's making their way up the Tigerberg Straight towards turn 4, Saddle Sweep. But what is weird, the fastest man out there, Shane Smith, doing a 141.4. That's the conditions that they've got to deal with out there. Very slippery, very soapy indeed.
Yeah, it's very, very different kind of conditions. Like I say, likening it to walking on a tightrope or on a knife's edge. And every single lap is different. You can't get used to it. That's the problem when you drive in the rain. But now, waiting for them, Barcy Berger comes now, the Honda, the Ital Oven Honda Ballard comes across the line, and then it was 6.3 seconds between himself and Heidenreich. Here comes Heidenreich now, across the line, and it is now 7.9 seconds. Smith, 5/10 of a second, half a second off of Heidenreich at this time.
Right, so coming out of turn number 1, oh, Stephen went in a little bit too deep there. I think he might have had a touch of understeer, but no, I'm done. He's still ahead there of Shane Smith as they make their way out of turn 1 up the Joubert Straight towards turn number 2. They're going to put a lap there on Lee Fielding. That just keeps completely out the way. But Byron, your leader, is making his way into turn number 3. That's Barcy Berger, and nobody told him that the circuit is wet.
All right, so 2 and a bit laps now. Well, 1 and a bit laps left to go, I should rather say. And the time's now 1:39, 3:13 from Shane Smith, who was originally fishtailing all over the place earlier on, trying to keep that BMW from going off the circuit. Valiant effort from the man over there. And, well, where is our leaders now?
Oh, sorry, Chiara van Niekerk in turn 2. Overdoing it there. Also very tricky conditions for Chiara from Wingfield Motors and best price from our car, but she gets the Golf back on track again and continues on her way towards turn 3.
Unfortunate there, Frankie. She was leading Class D,
yeah,
and has unfortunately had to recede that now to Gary Manwaring and possibly Andrew Honeywell coming up into second in the class. But hopefully Van Niekerk can try and get it to the end over there and get herself a confident result.
Right, so I'm busy. The leader is making his way into turn number 1. Nobody told Barcy Berger that the track is wet. He's gone and put a lap there on Eugene Gasperi and on Graham van Rooyen. The 2 of them are battling out there, but that Honda Ballard in the hands of Barcy Berger is doing extremely well. The Ittle Oven Honda making its way towards turn number 2. Then we've got this fight for second and third position heading towards turn 2. Stephen Heidenrich and Shane Smith, they are nose to tail as they make their way into turn number 2. Oh, Stephen goes in deep. He goes in deep, runs off the circuit and drops down to P3, losing that second position to Shane Smith and rejoining just ahead there of Daniel Kutsia and Charles Opperman.
Oh, sun coming out now, Frankie. It's quite warm, I have to say, as they are on the last lap of the race. And Barcy Berger just has to keep it on the river, I can say, just to get it back home.
On the river, yeah, pretty much that, yes. As they're on the last lap, the flag has been readied. Going down the back straight for the last time is your leader heading towards turn 5, towards a fast-run corner. Is the Ittle Oven Honda Ballard in the hands of Barcy Berger.
First ever win as well. Tiny was just reminding, maiden win.
This is
for that
true.
Car, and
this is true.
Used the conditions perfectly, drove impeccably.
Yep, as he makes his way out of turn number 5, out of fast-run corner. The checkered flag is readied and victory goes to the Ittle Oven Honda Ballard of Barcy Berger. Coming home in P1, Shane Smith finishing in that second position and coming home in third. Well done there to Stephen Heidenrich. He finishes in that top 3. P4 and 5 will go to Daniel Kutsia, and then the golf across the line of Charles Opperman.
Yeah, Gary Van Weering, Frankie, will get the win in Class D. We wait for the...
yeah, but as we wait for him, we see that Graham van Rooyen and Eugene Gaspery has taken the checkered flag.
Yeah, we just wait for Man Wearing and Honeywell now. 1.4 seconds between the two of them the last time around. Here comes a run to the line.
Well, this is going to be a sprint to the line. Yeah, they come towards us now, and it's going to be Honeywell that gets to the line.
I think Honeywell got it.
Yes, just ahead there of Gary Man Wearing, followed by Ahmad and Kiara van Niekerk.
Yeah, van Niekerk getting third in class. She'll finish 2.1 seconds off of Ahmad. Then it will be Hendricks coming through. Yusuf Hendricks, number 61.
Yeah, Lee Fielding finishes his race, but he's lapped down. And then, as you say, the new man in the BM in Class X, Yusuf Hendricks, got a DNF in the opening race. But in tricky conditions, he brings that 61 car to the checkered flag.
And, well, Paul Minnick. Also, we haven't spoken much about Paul Minnick in this race, but he's there. He's making it to the end. And that will be 11th.
Yeah, Paul Minnick crossing the line. And then we've got the Ford Falcon of Michael Lassier that finishes his race as well. Well, what a day. What a fantastic day's worth of racing. It had it all. It had drama, it had red flags, it had issues, it had rain, it had everything that you want. But successful at the end of the day, it was.
They had purple flags as well.